The first count is the battle between Wukong and Vaybu. This is a tough fight on the upper road. Incineration variable speed. Hit with displacement though. I'm just afraid that the speed limit is a little difficult to handle, but this season the ice is there. Calculate the current 1,500 points of SAO expertise. Amesa is also a general. The win rate is high. Let me get the Jade details. Wukong. Speed along with the block. And biscuits. There is damage to the bottom. Direct blood. And let's see. Fighter. Start safe with the shield. Darius is a general that Xiao is also fighting. A later game will have a Darius contract along with the review. And let's see. What was the end of V before? The shorthand knows the long hand. It is safe to wait for level 6. Level 6 with tornadoes. Wukong has no exam review. It's pretty thin. And the pressure comes from burning. With Panteo's ability to attack. Forest Pantheon Metallier. To W shots both multiple damage and multiple CC. Honkolo is a virus, not Ejim. And actually, if you're not feeling well, Zing virus. It certainly can't be free fire. Let's go on the road and see how it is handled. Short-handed trusses have to occupy dust and airbox wrap comes from the live streaming host. Put your hand on the first soldier and unclog the bones of the key aside. But you want to punch them from home to school. The opponent loses Q. And then the level to opponent first. I the grass to get information for your soldiers. They could be paid off by the soldiers. Level to plus skill W. Will be able to recover from Kinderin. In the middle there is a life. Mid-stop joke extremely good. In this case, the level BA opponent is convicted. Wait for level BA to play after you. It will try to shape itself. But they decided to close their eyes. Because Japan just got jealous in the middle of the road. It's easy to eat soldiers in the tower. I haven't seen it yet. Let's not say it's a reset. There is a lot of blood, but it is heavy. It's safe. 16 CS and warping decided on. Because maybe raw should be blood. That's real, brothers. There is another rose to buy more blood. It doesn't seem like a very difficult deal. Very good personality comes from Wukong of South Streamer. You can't eat the enemy's pillar. Hands-free, take advantage. Space moves into the fringe without success. I told you to be weak, but I was afraid. And then Tim started to break. It's good to remove the middle. But if they don't die. That brother. The idea is that you can handle Mark being better by using a weak wing. But the last phase was weak, it was a bit aggressive. If you have a claw or an E, I think there is still a chance to deal with it because if there is, good Q comes from Esri. Back to the future. That's it, guys. Thalia in the midst of the enemy. Same light and Kwang seismic BA people. Prepared to push high area stand on and go rob the forest. Stop the enemy from deciding to quit. Function will add maximum to the skill E. With intrinsically piercing armor. Some part. Its coolness will also be reduced relatively. I really need this, guys. Time comes from Darius of Saint Streamer. Move the eyes of the opponent's green enchantment area in. Most of the physical damage. Is that we need a barbed shoe? And decided to add some resistance. Who knows? What will be the magic resistance that Xiaochaomeng is aiming for? A general. There's no damage. Reset with 800 coins. Maintain to terrible. Then for example, Jack. Sense of nature. Lost speed and still have to board. Dragon's brothers. On the other side. Stop the enemy. I just lost a Leona, so the enemy will be extremely limited in vision. There's speed coming from Saint Germain and catching the event. That's a little time consuming. I didn't kill the event tomorrow morning. Because of the upward pressure. If you pull this off, the event will run. Come on, guys, focus on pushing. And even the enemy decided to commit suicide. But the enemy kills himself. Atakon is Sao. You're a little early, my friend. Eat it fast. Okay, let's get in and out. Too big. The enemy is lacking. Dare the opponent raw for V years or not? It seems that the enemy left. That's Virgo. Whether it's in the middle or in the top, it's all a place. Atakon and Atakon. Help the Central Sao team. There will be a lot more experience. On top of that, the enemy has 2 pillars in a row. Atakon destroyed in exchange for 2 pillars above. Hey! Hit a game! It doesn't feel so good. The wrong crab. Despite losing Atakon. But in return, there are 2 pillars at the top. Xiaochaomeng has Atakon and then Riven. Counter-attack slow down, but the enemy W is fast and dodges. If only Galio was alone, Sao. If only Galiofa had been there, I think it can still be handled. But it's got a cookie, brother. The event has 5 books. But there are still 5 books to heal. Even the toad just now. If you succeed and stop. But behind Galio, after the supermodel, there's a cookie and that's a lot of damage from Kosifer. If you knew it would be there, it would be fast. You have a very high chance of survival. to do a little bit of leading. You shouldn't suck wood, brothers. Down the wing eating crabs from Java. This is an armor plus magic resistance. All your blood. Well, it could also be another version of the rear armor. Because as I said, in this game there is only one Galio. It's not a form of shamanism. It's capable of too much magic damage. I don't know if the Pentalon has enough pressure under it. Or Casanopia or Thalia something. Then we don't have to go on a big thing. It's pretty empty. Then, the priority here will be equipment plus armor. Towards the forest ring. Then move the science up. Shoot Q as you go. Nico explosion HOA turn beautiful. The enemy intends to strike back. I don't know what's in the ice. The enemy seems is to hover at the sound waves that flash, and then pull E to hit hand W. Tuku or a one-time home that Xiaochaomeng ice has more. Enraged and the enemy died. Good combination from Simonson with Lee Sin. Lee Sin kicked a real devil. Is the last trick of Xiaochaomeng with for books. SV also shot down the Gario. It's called the end game. This range pushes in with the year deep. A con type of destruction, it will sting 25% more. Riven alone her body so she. The live streaming host is no longer available. Of the people of the city. But the enemy dodged the edge with phase. A death can be avoided. It's hard to help. Let's take a look at the end of the game. (11.31.4) Give 11 points and Lee Sin 11 points for points. He's down eating crabs and he's being intercepted. I don't know if I lost with Lee Sin and MVP in the hearts of the fans. Thank you very much for following two of Xiaochaomeng's teachings today. Leo Top Challenge 1.5 for 5 in general is the range. Flash W, I'm sorry I can't hold the enemy back. Because it's the others. And people go up and down all the time. Then it's safe. Actually 300 points to meet the terrible Leo rank in a few days can also be lost. They are also all monsters. 200 points before that, it took about 2 days. See you guys later. At the top challenge. But the earthquake was successful and the text was broken. Xiao's goal this season will be 2,000 points. Let's see if the tape will. There are 2,000 points at any given time. Second network continuously. It's the Pantheon Jungle Player Network. 2 swords with a pink one. The enemy has rubies, the enemy has blood. With tornadoes, it's a skill that helps Wukong. A big enemy soldier to get into the pillar. The enemy has 35. Don't lose this farm, brothers. Not enough to get to level 6. One phase rush up to disarm the enemy's bones. Create a premise for owning at level 6. Maximum blood of the enemy. 2. These two guys shouldn't be farming. Ma wave level 6. That's from home to school. If it's safe, they'll go home and get more blood. And shift back. I haven't even back to level 6 yet, but the opponent condemned the error and then Q tornado. The enemy is. Speed up the enemy. Variable speed Q. Speed up and solo kill for Saint Simon. Although Q error 1 beat, but still enough Dame brothers. Continue to hit your opponent's hand level 4, level 6 and W. E and more Anivir. W hit hand Q and damage is enough come from Xiao welcome. And there's more movement coming from the side. Pentel, can I have some cake? Bite the cake to heal many enemies out of mana. The enemy moves extremely slowly. And then there's the second network for Xiao. Congratulations. With seismic toss phase. The game is over, guys. BA01 for Wukong of Xiao copy tape. He was just killed by a solo. Oily warping is still dead. Then there was Anivia, but the enemy ran out of mana. And biscuits that make Xiaochaomeng resilient. Finished processing, and the enemy forced Jack the boss broken. Did not ask. The boss just doesn't have to fix it. And blue, it's a one-sided game. 30 seconds to undo the tornado from the live streaming host. Super sharp braided brothers lost the level of equipment loss. Go well but stop. Really, and I feel like it's gone too. I'm sure Ravan wouldn't be jealous either, guys. But there was Anivia behind, so the enemy also. Gradually up a little. Conviction is good, but the government still has a big car. It's here. The last trick came from Xiaochou, and the opponent lost Q. Not to mention that at this point, the difference is huge. In front of you, there is no last resort. Kill me when you're done. It feels like you're not losing too much blood. Not bad, brothers. Too good. If you go back to the moon, it will be as if it is too late. At this point, it will be a trap. The last trick is death. If the opponent has a tendency, then drag Pentel up to the pole. That hugs the pillar all the time. Is the enemy. One is standing tall farm soldiers and dying. Not even to inhale the experience. Up in time to catch the big car experience from So Streamer. Support or not, and the soldiers are on the ground. It's very easy to breathe. The enemy returns with a silver arrow. Don't change it so deeply that you can die. It's probably not that hard. The game has no hope for the first team. We Lions see 2 more fights later. Give me the virus farm now, folks. The Pantheon is here. But tornadoes also come from Xiao. If there is speed, it will probably die. There's only one drop of blood, waiting to be alive. I'm sure that Q is the right one. I told you it's not safe to hold the cylinder, guys. Should be the upper wing. That this range Raven up the upper wing hit no return. On the wing sometimes fix more brothers. Who can be called the only one who is playing the game? Home with a K2. What else will the Central Committee bring out? Number. Usually it's a game up. The Moon Brothers. Stream'em decided up. Police force. But let's take a look at the ferocious knife. Usually fight with the you guys, but not with Wukong. If it's Darius Atox and Wukong, a substance that's both approachable and has a W, or not to mix up the blood mist structure. V and brothers play extremely little. Trade the whole hugs, the opponent is easy to ice. If you pull the forest up, 2-2 to loses. Take the shark down, that. Remember the decision to change the internet. Javan combo to suck the shot down, but the wings under this plank are blue brothers. And recognize that the amount of damage that comes from the previous seasons were actually reluctance to play is fine. This season I don't know why. And with V you see this range in the form of E and soldiers to type Q in. I don't know how to play on the right. I'm always on Q with the Vietnamese shield. Conviction. Can you type one more rule? The enemy is not running. And then the next one. Cyclone goes out. The man in front of you. I thought it was a rule, but not a rule. To ice the cylinder, kill before eating after. The power chain is also activated. It feels like a very explosive game. Buy another dark coat, guys. I don't know what the party will do, because the only thing to help him with is the E. But now E. And the dark white shirt doesn't work. If you type a Q, you will lose half a tree. If there's another tornado, it's 100% dead. Still going, brothers. This is a fight that you can completely integrate into the ranking. The only problem is that you need to deal with it. The more you meet a liar, the better, brother. The team ate all the targets at this level. Everyone wins. Move and support. Pontel steals Japan's green talisman. Probably. This game doesn't last too long anymore. 15 minutes to go. The enemy must have surrendered. Boss just raised kill get 2 lives of Han Kolo. You must surrender, brothers. Die, die! Lease more of Japan's network. Not remember. Winby a road and Venus Ice get 7 lives. V and 06A brother. I don't know if the Wukong of Venus Ice is there. What's the win rate, you see? 1 to 3 for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0 to 3, 1, 0 for 0, 5, 6. To be A. For years. I lost 5 games, brother. I played 20 games and lost 5 games. Now we're going to move on to the second syllabus. A game where Sao middle ice on the side of the first team. The decision to choose Darius came from the live streaming host. At the beginning of the season, the first few games seem to be very difficult. The later you see the win rate, the lower Darius is. This is the reason why the Central Leo top Xiaochaomeng. Even the top one. But I don't have much of a curriculum, Darius. Why is the series so little Darius? Let's see if the opponent meets an event today. What will be an outcome? Pearl details. Then it will be conquering the legendary speed attack. Side table clairvoyant biscuits universe. The Jade is also quite similar to the Jade without the board just now. For Darius, you need to hurry to get 5 books. There is more speed. And maybe this is the only thing that's different. It's a quick hit, guys. The new adjunct is what's important. There's a lot of first-person damage. The damp book of the event is quite a lot. You need to be exhausted, brothers. Because Darius just needs good resistance. I have a chance to start the year. The event is relatively simple. After 30 days, I lost a lot. Before that, I won a lot. But it seems to be from version 2 onwards. Reduced by a number. It's terrible. Come out here. It's not a general either. Xiaochaomeng hit the most this season. That's the general. It brings a lot of points for Xiaochaomeng. Whether they're going to fight crocodiles with this event or not. Brothers! Not sure if it's a hug. That fight was great. Both sides showed good skills. The event out of play is quite a lot. It's different from crocodiles. Crocodiles of the first level. But to the BA level, it's comfortable. Let's see how it works. It will be used in enemy situations. To stabilize. I exhausted my opponent's pain to avoid death. Where to start with the blood? Or bring the speed of attack is not back. Guys, if you hit the right shot. After Riven's 3 swords, and if you're not exhausted, he was killed by 3 swords. Sometimes I can't even get non-start. Let's take a look at this deal. A plus Q or a plus W? Step up to enemy pressure. The enemy has not recovered 3 swords. Then damage the enemy a lot. QBA is very good, brothers. The enemy must hurry away. If you just stop at the level of 1 breath trade, you see the mindset of the rapids. The challenge rank? Compared to our speeds at the lower ranks. Kill people or run away. But the high rank is fast to get the winland. Brothers and sisters. The event just ran. Just don't put Sao in the pay tape. Brothers and sisters. If you stop at the first beat, it's a blood hole if the opponent restores the second beat. Change speed, but this speed change. Let me show you the situation the other day. This phase is also a phase. Losing trades from Sao streamer. The enemy pushed in. If this phase only stops here, Len will lose. You guys, this blood is Len's lost blood. I quickly turned Q up. I kill the enemy all the damage. If there's no phase processing. If I have damage to the enemy, it's over. And create a state of burning without blood loss. The enemy can only run fast. I still have damage. To win the way. Then this situation is the same. And when the enemy restores his skill, he loses to Len. That's fast. It's got to be different in the challenge, guys. Then I have quick damage to hit hand W. Let's change speed with each other. I went from a hole to a while. This is a lost event, guys. More blood than the enemy. 2 handle. There is level 2. Let's look at the forest. It's very stressful, guys. There's got to be phases like that. The enemy ignored the attack on Saint Germain. Extremely uncomfortable with short distances. Darius will have own tendency. Successful extermination fund comes from Saucy H. Stremo. For cups, and then the 5th cup is deployed. Hiding behind the stunned soldiers and successfully shielding. Q, the opponent has the same speed. Who, brothers? Before that was a phase that fringed Xiaochaomeng's success. And when Riven Odin had Virgo behind him, when the enemy is down, there is level BA. Virgo can't turn fast either, guys. To get 5 books, it must have been Riven and Vegan Hope. It's every detail, guys. But it's a winland match, and after a phase 2, the upside is huge. Then, the School of Pink Jade Sword with excess shoes has a red charm. It has a very big impact to Winland. Not bad, not bad, not bad. It can only run away. Eat 3 yards up and cross the road early. It's definitely worth it. With the farm index compared to Lee Sign, reset a name to plug eyes on the river area. Xiaochaomeng has more. To pieces of wood hammered together with a regular shoe. But that opponent he runs with QBA Air WQ Edge. Play short term hit hard to get 5 start. 2C. Let's see if Simon gets a 2nd start. Or not. The 3rd time. The 2nd time the opponent is on the gank, there is also a 5 start. The skill set of the event is quite dynamic. Then hit your hand. I always give my hand a 5-pronged blow. This time I got 5 cups on me. With a quick release sequence. But at noon level 6, you can't stand it. Hand hit but did not match up in time to come from the live streaming host. And retreat to the cooling tower. Skills always come from Saint Germain. Search for opportunities with level 6. Because even if all 6 of them are level 6. Ice Pillar. Hit hand W before hitting hand W is stunned by the opponent. Let's play the last trick. The network was shot down with. Dino was a soldier in the enemy's 6th year, and then the enemy goes over. It makes you in the ice. He was almost killed by the enemy. Without a life. Fortunately enough, brothers, the fight challenge event is also intense. And just now, Central Sao does not have a variable speed addition. It is enough to follow the previous event. After a turn on one wing, Lee Sin ate all 3 children. Do you want to rank top or not? Downline can change network SP. The enemy is better than the last. Event equipment will also be difficult. Made a deal with Darius of Stuming. Stuming has a wooden hammer and 2 long swords. Last move. I don't think I can afford to kill Darius. This is a very important addition to this. Darius will not return the review. The enemy also has no tendency to close. They just lost BAQ. Adhesive BA. But the enemy is fast. Exhausted opponent back WQ edge W year. The opponent returns the skill in time or not. Ramp A for Lee Sin. Again a phase. Variable speed to win trade comes from South Streamer. I don't know if I can get the review or not. High probability is not thanks. Because it's quite mobile. This situation is a fast-moving situation. This is the winner, guys. Even the enemy doesn't die. After Xiaochaomeng there is a full tree. Accelerate term raw draw enemy blood for 5 cups. Between the speed of damage and the speed of running, and finally Lee Sin was there. There is a big car. Get out of here, guys. Long time not seen. When rafting with Riven this game, is handling it extremely well. Decided to box a name and go home and buy stuff. You can't sell anything, guys. A barbed shoe. And an axe, cool raise to aim for. Bottom wing change network steam hole. Okay. Now I'm in the diamond rank. Most of them. People will accelerate towards. Or it's a variable velocity to run. In situations that are pressure solo kill. Or ganked. By ranking high, I see people moving quickly. Winland is fine. The better it is to kill the enemy. The guards are still in good condition, brothers. It must be a bit harsh to stop the enemy. 2 pounds is also seen. It's sweet. The top enemy is gone. The problem is that sometimes they're a little bit green. But it also feels like it's not too threatening. At Kui edge and Ray Cooler stop enemy exposed upper wings. If the enemy has just revealed its upper wing, Sao. There's not much to do either. It should be given to Lee Sin. The event is to show love. Quickly press the jar of styles. But this interval doesn't have an addition, Darius. Here's something I'm telling you about. About Darius of Xiaochaomeng. Without speed, it reduced by half my strength, brothers. So it can deploy damage. Force your teammates to do the background. even though Nico's a little bit of a support hero. But the possibility of the play is still there. Push the runway. Lead-in sound waves died and Riven was nowhere to be seen. The enemy is also determined to stay. And the enemy decided to leave. Completely skip the troops, completely skip the armor. In the middle of the ice, there is Lee Sin. Lee Sin is down due to Riven. The enemy doesn't just pull up, but it's got a little annoying Galio. I have a fever down for Talia. And then the fringe, a fringe that's still attached. See the enemy covered with the internal burning constantly. There is no speed. A rip with an axe, a rip. Lyson was killed too quickly, brother. If the Lyson tickles the saw a little more, it's good. Because South Central. This phase is obviously not allowed to add. Blast HOA beautifully sin. Invisible sound waves of Viagotos. Network. But they're not capable of eating Vorms and Thaliatok. Photoseismic them. Fury foot beat hand sound waves dodge light heavenly sword. The real evil. Okay or not. This is an ultra-fast variable speed coming from SCUOA. Movement of learning. Very fast to dodge a barricade. And fast forward to the area. Or you can do the opposite, brothers. The 9th level review AQ left the counterattack out. Darius is going to be a little hard to fight with the top fighters. I hit 3 books and the enemy hit 3 books. If you go to level 11, you will go sooner. 10, there's still one more brick. One more hit and Riven's life will come. If you don't hit the first beat. Eventit knows that the Sao in the leather band has no E. With a level 9 Black Axe. To slow down the enemy a little. Then the Q edge heals. Hit hand W. QBA comes from the event Xiaochaomeng. This event, look at it. Have barbed shoes. Death to that place, brothers. But the opponent is determined not to be passionate enough. Q edge of Xiaochaomeng. Turn up and pull a Q on the edge. 5 books have been burned, my friends. But it still didn't work. With barbed boots with counterattack maces handled. Good to drive Q edge and it's a solo kill. The review 8 to lives. There is a network. Professional Sao is a shot-down network. The second life is Lee Sin's. No matter what the enemy still holds, bring out the black. Deal with Darius of Xiaochaomeng. Binoculars, a map for Xiaochaomeng. And upgraded shoes. You have the perfect shoes event, damn it. This event. That it eats. Brothers. A shortcut network of iSpiller high school courtyards. A network. Leave the upper wave to go to the middle. Catching Talia Jung with Galio. My review is not out of the game, but it's not that bad. And the story of the wings. There is speed, sometimes you can't catch it. Exhausted with the speed of change. It's extremely maneuverable. Then we will move towards a full-scale combat. This team also has Nika as the background. Lee Sin can also come in first. Just make a good team. Then the damage that comes after Darius will not be lacking. There will still be risks. Throw the earthquake, the sound waves also hit. But the event fell down, brothers fall down, brothers. Even if you lose a dragon, you can't change to lives. It's determined to fight back with Xiaochaomeng. Fighting another wing. The enemy moves. If you can remove many lives, the enemy can still make a comeback. Before the event, its Dame was still very rubbish. But it's the fire team that it can reach. 3 or 4 is a little annoying, guys. Event is trying to pivot a middle line of Team Stamer. I don't have enough money to go home. The enemy's life is coming back very strongly. But that Galu rode wings. I feel like I can't fight Darius. It's magic resistant. But basically, Darius has standard damage. Galu is not a difficult contract. The enemy is back. This is the time when there's a 16-minute winged messenger. And if the Xiao is down the road, it's a weak wing. Eat this pillar. Where the enemy drops the messenger, it's not fast. 2 gets with exhaustion, but there's no claw ball. This phase that you naive. If you touch a pillar, the enemy leaves the messenger.